My name's Jay Clausen. I am a pilot in the 180th Airlift Squadron, and I'm the mission commander for our Savannah flyaway. Our main point is to go somewhere new, somewhere we're not used to, and do our normal type of flight ops, airdrops, personnel airdrops, equipment airdrops, and then also some unfamiliar landing zones. And a part of that is interflying with our partner Louisville. With Louisville combined, we have a total of 9 aircraft and about 300 people down here for this exercise. ERCC stands for Engine Running Crew Change. It's the most efficient way for us to get the most amount of training done. So once an airplane goes out and flies a mission and they come back, to save the time of shutting down the engines, bringing a new crew out, starting the engines back up and taxiing back out, they just leave the engines running, swap the crews out, and everyone gets everything squared away in the airplane and then continues on to fly their next mission. So it saves maintenance time, it saves ops time, really just makes things run smoother and quicker. We did 2 5-ship formations today. We have another 2 4-ships, and then we're planning 2 days from now to do a 9-ship formation with everyone. So going back to what it's like in the front, and for those airdrops, once you add the formation element, now your navigator and pilots in the front, and for everyone behind, they're responsible for the person behind them to make sure they're getting to the right place. So you're not only thinking about what your airplane's doing, you have to think about everyone behind you to make sure they're in a safe place, in the correct place for their airdrops as well. People on the ground are expecting us there on time and to have the equipment dropped in a certain location.
I'm Master Sgt. Kent Bohart with 180th Airlift Squadron. Today I'm acting as the drop zone coordinator. We set up a RAM, which is behind me. It's a raised angle marker. That's what the pilots are looking for quite a few miles out. That's our point of impact, what they're shooting for. When we're dropping personnel, we have to set up a ground V, so when the jumpers are jumping, they know which way the wind direction's coming from, so when they free fall down or parachute down, they can land into the wind and they can tell what the winds are doing on the ground. The jumpers will pretty much land towards the target and they'll just pick up their chutes on their own. The training bundles, the 15-pound sandbags that's going to be dropped, we will take and we'll step off from the RAM and score the pilots and the navs that dropped on how close they got to the target.
Temperatures are so cold in St. Joe, it tends to make the parts inside there very brittle. And then we start those engines up and they get up to upwards of 1,000 degrees. And a lot of times those seals that are holding in the fluids that were brittle from the cold are now all of a sudden are hot, and they tend to fail, and we'll have the fluids inside will leak out, and which is something we can't have happen in flight. So we had one airplane that was in that situation because it was so cold back in Missouri, so we sent a plane to pick up a new propeller, and they probably saw them taking one off, and pretty soon they'll be putting a new one back on. The purpose is really just to get us ready to go fight wars. We try to go somewhere unfamiliar because that's what's going to happen when we deploy. We try to do missions that we don't do all the time when we're back home. Just like anything, when you do it over and over again at the same place, it becomes pretty simple, and it doesn't take a lot of effort and work to make it happen. Well, when you get into a situation like this where everything's new, it takes time, planning, a lot of hard work by not just us, but all the people that have to support us to make it happen. And that's what happens when we deploy and we show up, and now our maintainers and our medical and our other support type groups around the base are there with us to make sure that we have everything we need to go fly the missions that are handed down to us. So this is basically a mini version of a bigger picture that we do every couple of years.